Thank you to Simply Safe for sponsoring today's video.
For anyone who's been thinking about protecting their home and family with home security, now is the best time to act. Right now, you can save big on Simply Safe's home security with up to 40% off new system orders.
Simply Safe on home.
With the holidays approaching, we have peace of mind that our home is protected if we're out traveling, leaving our home unoccupied, or even hosting guests. For less than $1 a day, we have 24/7 protection for every window, room, and door, inside and outside, against intruders, fires, water damage, medical emergencies, and more. There is no safe like Simply Safe. Simply Safe's award-winning system starts with cutting-edge technology and is backed by highly trained monitoring professionals ready to dispatch police and send help when needed. They have advanced response technology to confirm if the threat is real and get help there fast. The setup is easy enough to do yourself, and it's delivered straight to your door. We love our Simply Safe system and think you will too. Save up to 40% on your Simply Safe security system during Simply Safe's biggest sale of the year. Visit simplysafe.com/redpoppyranch to customize yours.
Dogma synonym. Get away from me. Yardstick ball in order. Never did much to set me free. I got a new cannon. I met a wild companion. I got a new cannon. I found gold in the ashtray, honey on the knife blade. I got a new cannon.
It's kind of common for chickens to stop laying eggs once the weather changes and it gets a little colder. In the summer, I was getting at least a dozen a day, and now that it's been so cold, we haven't gotten any. And this morning when I came out to feed the goats, lo and behold, guess what I found?
There's our black cat.
Oh,
Get it,
holy
get it. See, like that's all mold, like they're all stuck together. I guess the most of those.
Yeah, and cracked.
I knew we were losing eggs. I don't see any more up on top like I thought I would.
We should have been a bit. I knew there wasn't 30 or 40.
Well, they've, I think right here, if I move this around, there's more that's fallen down in there.
They've probably even gone all the way down. I'm going to take them inside, see if they're even good, see if they're savable. They're probably frozen solid, but I'm just going to at least try and see what I can get. We honestly have no idea how long all of those eggs have been outside. So I'm going to do a float test. If they sink, then they're good. If they float, then they're bad. And if they float, then I'm going to take them outside because nobody likes the smell of a rotten egg. So. Alrighty, that answered my question. Out of almost 24 eggs, not one of them was good. So they're all going in the garbage. But just a little tip, when you're using fresh eggs, make sure to crack it into a bowl before you put it into your recipe, because I've never met anybody who likes the taste or smell of a rotten egg.
After helping my lovely wife get all of her eggs collected, and after getting the snowplow separated from the truck, I need to cut out one more fish plate and get it welded up to the passenger side. Then I need to get the entire front mount painted with a heavy duty paint, and this truck will be done as far as the snowplow mount is concerned. The next step in the project will be to swap the entire drivetrain from my son's wrecked truck into this truck, then to get it running. So I've been using the 25-year-old Hobart welder for the last week and a half, and the solar system really hasn't complained at all. And what I mean is the welder doesn't pull enough amps that the system even notices. I'm sure our solar system would handle an even bigger welder if needed, but this welder should be more than sufficient for anything I ever need. Had I hired a professional, I don't know if the hammer and the rosebud would be the preferred tools, but either way, it should be plenty strong. The very first plow truck that I bought specifically to plow this road was a late 70s half-ton short bed Chevy truck that was used to plow a car lot. And once I got that truck up here, as I would plow the road, it would literally leave its own parts up and down that road as it rattled to pieces. That truck lasted one season. After getting rid of that half-ton plow truck, I would then pick up a mid-90s Ford 3/4 ton truck that had a gas small block in it. That truck we had up here for 3 seasons, but even that truck started to worry me. Little by little it was showing signs that it wasn't going to hold up to the demands as well. About a year ago was when my son Rhett was driving home, hit some black ice, and rolled what would have been the perfect plow truck. Once I knew that my son was not injured in the accident, I bought the truck from him, knowing I could make it into a plow truck. But my plan was to have this all done and all taken care of long before there was snow on the ground. And as you can see, now I'm up against it. So if I don't get this thing running and driving very soon, I'm going to have to make some decisions around a plow truck. Once this truck is finished, I should never need for another plow truck again. At least not for a while, because eventually, I'm sure the road will do to this truck what it has done to every vehicle that has ever driven on it, and that is wear it out. We have about 3 miles of road that has to be plowed, and plowed on a regular basis. Because I spent a little extra time working on that water tank shed, I didn't get to the plow truck as soon as I thought I would. But that being said, we now have 5,000 gallons of water to work with instead of 2,500. And so far this winter, we have not had to use the backup generator to pump water. I've been watching our water tank levels as well as our batteries with our solar system very closely as I'm trying to figure out if the changes that we made will in fact make a difference. Because of the excess water, the solar well pump has been able to keep up. That was a little fast. I plowed the snow yesterday. Sorry, buddy. Along with the water tank shed, the adjustment that we made with the solar panels, moving them from the ground to the roof, also seems to be a significant change. We're still having to use the generator at times to top things off, but I can see that the solar panels are getting sun earlier in the day. And I can also see that the little bit of snow that has gotten behind the solar panels is melting off very fast, more than likely, because of the heat the solar panels are putting off. Once the snow melts next year, I'm definitely going to build one more solar panel array on the roof. This new welder can be a little bit finicky right at startup, but after it warms up, the welds burn in just fine. It seems that confidence always comes after a little bit of experience, but the more I use the machine, the more I enjoy it, and the more I can see my welds are getting better. There's still a delicate balance between making it look good and burning it in hot, but with enough practice, I'll get it figured out. At some point next summer, when the snow melts and it's nice and warm, I'm going to saw cut across the front of the shop and put a trough drain in right here that should take care of all this water. I would love to tell you all about this paint that I'm using to paint the snowplow mount with, but a few years back, the company that makes this paint actually sent me an email and said the people that watch my videos likely would not be interested in their paint. So I won't waste your time, but it is good stuff. Now that the snowplow mount has been painted with the unnamed paint, it's going to dry while I'm pulling the drivetrain out of the wreck truck. The drivetrain out of this truck is a 12-valve Cummins, an NV4500 transmission, and the standard 241D transfer case that they put in the old Dodge trucks. But it's heavy duty enough, and that motor puts out just enough power that it really should be perfect for pushing a lot of snow. I don't want to create any more work than I already have, so I want to try and pull the drivetrain out of this truck in one piece. That means the cab has to come off of this frame, and the other truck, the cab will have to be removed as well. Once the cab has been removed, I'll lift the nearly 1,800 pounds of drivetrain out of this frame with my cherry picker, then hopefully set it right back in the other truck. Jojo. Hey, dude. Okay, ready? Here you go. This one's gonna go off the rail. We're gonna go 2 rails. Got that, man. That's where I want it. 2 rails. Uh-oh. Left myself a little awkward shot. Ready? The ground is not even completely frozen, but we have enough snow around here that if I can keep it off the driveway, it definitely melts off faster and ultimately keeps our driveway less of a danger as we try to get up and down at this time of year. And the only plow that I have at this exact moment is the old Honda Foreman. And the Foreman does a great job other than the fact that it's a little bit cold plowing snow this way. So now begins the process of basically unhooking anything that's connected to the motor that would keep it tied to the frame. So wiring harnesses, brake lines, power steering. I have to carefully look the engine over to make sure I don't leave anything attached. 1994 was the first year that Dodge did the cab over dash, like they do on most of their trucks now. And what it basically means is that it's a bigger pain to get the drivetrain pulled out. So, because I've already cut most of this cab off, I'm going to continue disconnecting the cab and then slide it back on the frame. And that should give me more than enough room to lift the entire drivetrain out in one piece. Then I can push what's left right out of the shop and get the new truck right back in here. Okay, I've got a few things going on at once. I should be working on the plow truck, getting the engine out, but Cedar's wheels and tires showed up. Actually, her tires showed up a couple of weeks ago, but her wheels got here and the road is bad enough now I need to get her new tires on. I picked up this older Coates tire changing machine a few weeks ago for $250, and I'm going to find out if I bought a boat anchor, if I actually bought something that works. It's supposed to work, but my concern is that these bigger tires are going to be hard to mount. When I was at the tail end of high school, I worked at a gas station for a while, and I got to bust many a tire, so we're going to find out if I still know what I'm doing. All right, I got one down, but the problem is Cedar's has to go get the kids. So this was the spare tire off to the back. I really just wanted to see if I could do it. I think I'm going to have to wait till she gets back to obviously get the rest of them done. This tire machine really wasn't designed to work with tires this big or even the aluminum rims. I can make it work as long as I can do it without scratching things up too much. After one heck of a week last week, I was finally able to get the plow truck up to my place, start doing some of the repairs that were needed to the truck so I could make it functional. Before, if somebody needed to get around you, if you had to pull off in the snowbank and you didn't have pretty aggressive tires, you were taking a gamble that you could get stuck. Now I feel like we've resolved this issue. This road is now in better condition than it's ever been this time of year. I made a deal with the old truck that if it would do its best taking care of me and my family, I'd do my best to keep it out of the junkyard. The opposition and what we've accomplished so far has been at times monumental. But little moments like this remind us that as long as we keep trying, we can figure this thing out. And then on top of that, we got room for the dog. Right, Rug Dug? We got room for you. Heater works in here. Everything's good. Tomorrow I'm going to get back to the house. Now that I've got this situated, I'm just going to leave it sitting here, pick up a couple of quarts of power steering fluid until I can find a steering box, I guess, and get ready for the snowstorm. We got a pretty good snowstorm coming in. Tomorrow I'm going to drill out the holes for all of the bird block on the house, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the insulation in so it's not such an ordeal to keep warm. I've gone through about a cord of firewood, so I may have to buck up some firewood at some point here in the near future. But I want to get all the insulation in and get it done. I've got it in piles upstairs right now, in bags upstairs that I'd like to get off the floor if I can. So I think that's going to be the focus the rest of the week, is get all the bird block venting done that I have to do for code, and then get the insulation done.